Hello, everybody. So today we are sitting here on the podcast, sitting with wisdom, and we have Miss Erica Glover here. She is a full spectrum doula that ranges from birth all the way to death. She is also an herbalist, and I am so happy to have her on the show. So welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, tell us a little bit more about the full spectrum doula.
So, full spectrum means that I pretty much help women or birthing people in the full spectrum of reproductive health, fertility, birthing, pregnancy, postpartum, death, miscarriage, and even abortion. Just being that space for people where they need it the most, with no judgment. Put it that.
That is huge. So how did you even get into that?
So I've always wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to deliver babies. I wanted to be OB. And I actually went to med school. I was pre-med at USA. But being pre-med there, put me in a space in a hospital where I saw things that I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that a mom said, oh, I feel this. And the doctor was like, oh, you don't feel that. And I'm like, she said she felt, know what she feels.
Wow.
So it kind of put me off to the side. So I just looked at different avenues to be able to be in a space, but not be in that space. And that's how I became a doula. So, and then also as far as the herbalism, it kind of mixed together because moms were like, well, I don't want to take Tylenol. I want to do this. What can you offer? What do you suggest for me to do while I'm pregnant? And so I got deeper into herbalism. Then the herbalism led to me healing my family, with strokes and all those. I just dove in all of it.
Wow.
So just be there for whomever that I needed to be.
I love that. Yeah, that is beautiful. So that fits perfectly with the name of your business, which is Basic Instinct Herbal, right?
Yes. Yeah. It was the simple things that we don't really think about. I just felt like my family needed me, people needed me. I just wanted to just be there for those people.
I love it. So with you being able to experience the mirrors, is what I call it, birth and death, right? How has that experience really shifted your perspective of life?
So it makes me appreciate things because I've seen both sides via pregnancy and infant loss, whereas I am also a pregnancy and infant loss advocate, and death with family members. So I've seen all of the aspects, and it's just made me appreciate life. It made me want to dive into life. It made me want to take better care of myself and those around me because this is all we got.
So let's see. We think about dying. A lot of people are afraid of dying, right? Mm-hmm. The fear. How are you able to step in such a way, I guess, even for the family, right? And just that person, in consoling, what do you provide?
So death is death, but at the same time, is it really though? Or are they spooky? Hey, I definitely believe that our ancestors are with us. And I use that in pregnancy and death. So birth and death, you still have to tap into those spirits in both of those situations. Even though they seem so different, you still need the ancestors behind you in both of those situations. Being afraid, that's just something that we just have as humans. You want to be here for your kids. You want to be here for your family. You know what's going to happen. You might not know what's on the other side. It's fear.
Right.
But at the same time, it's going to happen to all of us.
Right.
And with that being said, can we turn that into something positive? Can you use it for something positive?
Okay. I love that. And like you were saying again, the ancestors, you feel as if they're here and present amongst us. So do you think birth and death was more so like a switching of portals or dimensions?
Yes, because birth is something that you have to tap into spiritually. You have to go as deep as you can go. As you not kidding.
Yeah.
You're not kidding. It's the deepest you possibly going to go. And when you're in that space, you have to be able to tap into something. Tapping into yourself is always great. We start there. But at some point, I might need to call on my grandma who's not here. Can a grandma and other grandma come and help me because I can't make it, So those people being in that space, or my previous birth with the mom, she lost her mom a couple of years before she had her. So in that setting, I said, why don't we bring a patient, be mom? Let's just bring her. Let's just see. That helps you. we're gonna like talk to her. She had a birth candle, she wrote her affirmations on it. Well, your mama's here too, girl. Right? You crying and you screaming, but your mom's still looking at you. So you said that was the strongest person you know. Let's tap into that strength, because that's what you need right now.
Tapping into that energy.
Oh, that is big. From a picture. And it was just a picture in the room. But I was like, hey, okay, your mom's here. Like,
right.
She's here. So
just switching that mindset and pulling that energy. Right. Okay. All right. There's a saying that babies choose their parents. Have you ever felt or witnessed evidence of this in your work?
So it's definitely an African proverb that, sometimes you dream. And sometimes our dreams mean nothing, or sometimes they mean a lot. Actually, I believe all dreams mean something. Sometimes people don't see what they mean. And sometimes in African proverbs, they say that the babies come to you. They may not be in physical form, it might be spiritual form, and then choose their parents. So I do believe that, sometimes these babies choose us. And they choose us for whatever reasons they feel. Because I also believe that sometimes these babies are people that are coming back. So they might want to circle back.
The reincarnated one.
Yeah. So they choosing you for whatever reason it is. And that's just for us to like figure it out or not figure it out. Just work with it. Because sometimes like my second, they're like, oh, she has an old soul. Or I'm like, oh, she wasn't out here. I'm like, right. She is old. And she's only 5. I'm like, girl, it's old for her.
I feel that because my oldest son, I know he has walked this earth before, because some of the things that he just said when it's like, who are you?
And if we pay attention, those are lessons that's probably for us.
Oh, for sure.
So, but we got to pay attention, because I, as a stressed out mom with 3 girls that very vibrate, I tap into it sometimes. It's just be rude. But are they really? Yeah. We just got to kind of like,
I think that's that programming, that societal norm and what's right, and I'm seeing that slowly kind of dissipate, especially from the African American community, but just kind of liberating in it. So I think I'm just paying attention to it. But yeah, because I remember it was definitely plenty of times where it was like, hey, you need to go ahead and sit down. You're a grown folks business. Or you be seen, not heard. Those things. But those kids have a lot of wisdom to share.
And do they really not need to be heard? Because how did that help us? For them to tell us to be seen and not heard, did that really help us?
Correct.
It didn't. It made us be quiet when we shouldn't be quiet. It made us keep secrets that we probably should have kept. Should we be seen and not heard? You're still being rude, but should we be seen and not heard in real life?
Yep. No, that's real. That's real. So what do you think society gets wrong about births and death?
So when it comes to the birthing aspect, they make it complicated. I feel like they make births so complicated, and so like it brings up the fear. That's where women get the fear. Oh, you see on TV. Really? We don't do none of that. We're not doing it. You know? I'm like, don't watch no TV, don't none of that. Don't watch the movies. You're not doing none of that. We're gonna put that fear in that space. This is your journey. You get to make this whenever you want to make it. You get to look at it however you want to look at it. It could be, it ain't, and you're like, it's screaming across them. It could be.
Right.
But like, don't put that into your space to be that way. And the same with that. Like so many people, like you see, rest in peace crying and screaming, but then did you sometimes see the space where people are like, well, she was in a lot of pain. Now I feel like she might be all right. It doesn't sound great. It doesn't feel great at the time, but she might be all right. You don't got to worry about her right now. She ain't got to take the medicine she might be on. She might be okay right now.
Yeah.
And that's consoling to me.
Yeah. No.
For me, going through spaces where I've seen the transition of people, it kind of sounds mean, but I would prefer the latter. For them to be in a better at peace, physical space, right? Mental space. I mean, you can choose the latter. You can just keep getting pumped up on dope. You could be on a machine. You could not be able to breathe, not be able to walk, not be able to talk. Like all those things. Would you want that for your favorite person in the world? I don't.
A limited experience, right?
I mean, take the fact that I put organ donor on my license, right? And my husband had a heart attack. And I put do not resuscitate, and he got a heart attack. And I was like, what? Just let me go. You know, people want to hold on to you. Yeah, but if I'm in a situation where I need that in that time, just let me go. Let me be like, this is my time to change. Love that. Well, people don't look at it that way. And I know it's easier to say than actually going through it. Yeah, I know that. Trust me. Especially being in the space when moms have lost babies. Yeah. And people are like, oh, it was only 4 months. No. Sure. I can't carry. Right. Only one time is only 4 months?
Yeah, energy. Like energy in that moment of pregnancy, just oh my goodness. I don't think people that haven't experienced male, female really understand how potent that energy is as you're trying to foster a human being and that exchange that's taking place. Yeah.
It is literally exchanges of fluids and bodies and energy, and all of this person is inside of you.
Yeah.
So no matter the stage that this person might transition or might come into Earth side, this person was there. Right? People forget that sometimes, and people are very, that side of my work, people are very insensitive. Doctors, nurses, family members, they are very insensitive. And I just be like, this ain't your body. First of all, let's start there.
Yeah.
You don't know what I felt. You don't know what conversations we had, or what energy exchange we had in the womb. People be 2 months pregnant, knowing their baby, knowing their names, knowing how they feel, knowing how the veins.
Yeah.
I can't tell them they don't saw that. And if they lose them in 3 months, you can't tell them that's all loss. Right.
So what do you think and feel about the medical system as far as Black women are concerned in our fertility, our birthing?
So, unfortunately, it's historical. So you got to think about, if we go all the way back to slavery. Once we or our ancestors were brought into this space, we worked in the fields, but we were also baby makers, right? We had to make more babies to work in the fields. So they were like concerned about our wombs. So there was people that was like concerned about our wombs in order to make babies. So like you got to be the father of gynecology, they call him. He used to do experiments on Black women and not give them anesthesia, like real experiments, like surgery, and be like, oh, they could take it. They could take it. Mm-hmm. They strong. They could take it. Let's not give them no medicine. Let's just open them wide up with no medicine. Starting there. Then as it progressed, they came up with C-sections. How do they come up with C-sections? Working on Black women. Enslaved Black women, they have no choice because they were trying to save these people because you got to make more babies. So that was slavery. As we continued the process, it just got worse and worse and worse. And we're losing moms because, oh, they can take it, or they're okay, or they don't need it, or they don't have insurance, or they're just a Medicaid patient. Or you're just not the priority right now. People are dying in real life. Yeah, real time. It is sad that African American women, or women in general, honestly, but mostly us, brown and Black women, can give birth in Haiti, which is considered third world country, safer, in a more welcoming environment than in the United States. That is sad.
Wow.
That's sad.
That is really sad. I mean, and I was looking at some of our statistics when it came to birth rates, right? And I was like, wow. And like you said, that's a third world country. And then you look over here at America and it's just like, well, what is really happening?
I'm going to go deeper. Last year, Doula County scored a D on the Black maternal health for the March of that. So D, which is improvement because we've been on the F list. Wow. We've been on the F list. So I think our D might be encouraging, but yeah.
Wow. So what is causing us to be like Duval County to be on a D F list?
It's not even just Duval. That's just art.
Yeah.
Because it's not just us. But we have to listen to Black women. It's a thing. There are things that are in place that can, well, first of all, like what is going on in America today. Some of the simple as insurance or adequate, assistance. Mm-hmm. There's a thing called weathering.
Okay.
What's that? So weathering means that we are responding to the conditions around us. Right? So I could tell a mom, well, you have to eat right. You need to drink water. Mm-hmm. But if she barely can feed her children, how can I tell her she need to feed herself in this baby? If the water's not clean and flick, what they gonna drink? So weathering is something that we have to go through. It's something that hurts our health in something that we can't really outgrow sometimes in some of our food deserts or spaces where we don't have adequate health care. We got to go to the other side of town, but you ain't have no cards.
It's so interesting that you even bring up, let's say, the food deserts and all of this, because I just watched this documentary, They're Killing Us, right? I had my boys watch it. Oh, yeah, I did. Because I need them to know, right, that what is really happening, like, yeah, you're experiencing such this beautiful environment, but there is other things happening outside of what you are being formulated in. And when I was watching that video, they were talking about the food deserts, and they were talking about how they purposely place, liquor stores and convenience stores that don't have the adequate groceries and food, all of that. So what you bringing that up, it's just such a roundabout manner, because it's making me and other people realize like how important it really is for us to really come together as a community and do something much bigger than what we're allowing to happen.
And that's the thing, like I try to tell people, it's literally like, it's not just about my family or your family, right? Like, moving forward, we do need to collectively come together, and like, that's the only way it's gonna work, right? They're gonna come up against one or two, but can they come up against all of them?
Right.
No.
And a lot of people, they have that fear of, oh, well, they did this to Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Blackwash it. And my thing is, I feel like you just have to build the proper infrastructures with the proper people in place, right? And yeah, that's probably going to take some time, to establish, but I think it's doable.
My thing is, but what happens if we don't try at this point? What happens if we don't try?
What happens if we don't try?
They try to take free lunch from kids who might not have no other food for the rest of it. Right. So what happens if we don't try? We might fail, because failure is like, but what happens if we don't try?
Yeah.
We could fail. That's a possibility. I'm not saying we know it all. It could happen. But why not try?
You're so right about it.
I mean, like,
no, why not? Because what is the other alternative?
At this point, hell, I'm about to give you some chicken. It is chicken hoop in the bag. You got like $20 eggs. Like, at this point, like, they're really trying I don't know what's real. I don't say, I mean, I have a garden and I love my garden. And my garden is literally just like my thing. But I want to expand it more because we really need it now. I'm serious about a chicken thing. Yeah, people who eat. My husband's vegan, so eggs ain't really our big thing. But
no, that's big. Huge. I know I can go. I've been big on this topic right there.
I mean, because it's the reality of now. And that was scarier than anything.
Yes. Yeah. Womb health, right? Okay. So what would you say is one herb that every woman should have, right?
Can I do two?
Yeah, go.
Okay, so my favorite womb herbs are nettle and red raspberry.
Okay.
So nettle is because, like, like I said, we're talking about food, nutrients, all of the things. So between nettle and red raspberry leaf, you got your vitamin K, you got your iron, you got your vitamin C. It's like a womb concoction. You got your toning herbs. You got pretty much everything you need without, dis-ease as a woman or a woman, But even I give it to my girls. I give them nettle, I give them red raspberry leaf, I give them all the things, and they haven't even had their mooncycle yet. But it's just something I just want to keep. I give it to men. I give nettle to men because nutrients is just something that we don't have, especially if we're not eating right. It's give it to everybody. Everybody get nettle. You get nettle. It's like raining money. Everything.
It's so funny because my mom, oh my goodness, if I think about her when we were younger, she was on that. Like, she was on it. When I mean, she loved to have golden seals. She loved to have echinacea, red. Like, she had her like go-tos that everybody else would be like, oh, you want herb? What is that? But no, yeah, like those were her things. Shout out to you, girl.
Hey, mom. You look the goat back that day before we.
Right, but she really was. And she'll tell a lot of my friends, like, you go get you some red raspberry. You bleeding too much, tone it up and stuff like that. So, yeah, okay.
But think about that. Even like to grandma and mama, certain generations won't even tap into the resources they have at their head. Yeah, sitting at the feet of the people that know something.
Yeah. Because it's like, I mean, I feel like it is purposely. It's a lot of things that have been purposely done. But it's like the wisdom of the elders. Like you can't ever exchange, for me, you can't exchange that for anything. Like they knew some things, like you said. And it's like, well, why not? Let me go ahead and get what you got. Okay. Because
Great. It's certainly free. Stop costing it. Say, here's the ring.
taking all these classes, hey, all you had to do is sit down at their feet.
My questions, grandma, so what? And then it's funny that you say that because like, I'm early, my grandma ain't none of those. She be like, girl, you still breastfeeding that baby? She like 20 years old. And I'm like, oh, but she still knows something.
Right.
We not aligned the most, but I can still learn.
Yeah.
So people think like, oh, you're not the same. No, we're not the same. My grandma is the opposite. New York, forward. I don't give a care about this. Get that breastfeeding mess and what kind of herbs you want. But I still can learn something. Oh, fair. And I saw that. Yeah. So even though she became my small student, that I'm happy about. She's so beautiful.
I feel that. I love that. All right. So, a lot of ancient cultures, right, view birthing as a sacred passage, right? So, how do you incorporate ancestral knowledge and wisdom into that?
So it depends on the person, of course, because everybody's background is different. But and that's important to me to learn. So, what background do you have? Have you had loss? Is it mom here? It's your culture. Like those things are important to me to like tap into because if that's how you were raised and that's what keeps you strong, keeps you going, and going to tap into that. So, I just incorporate traditions from whoever, wherever. So, as an example, Haitian postpartum baths. My postpartum baths aren't. I don't title them as Haitian because I like to give respect to those because it's really. I just put like Haitian inspired postpartum baths. Like so those are things that we can still incorporate into our people of color. Because they're still our ancestors. We still came from the same continent. So it's like, but then I use a rebozo, which is Mexican. So I make sure I give honor to those. So I use a lot of different cultural things in birth, even if it's not necessarily their background.
Right.
Because it's not how rebozos, belly binding. Belly binding comes from an African background, but it can also be rooted. Well, what I learned was rooted in Malaysian history. So I make sure I try to give honor to them because that's the studies.
Right.
So it just depends on where and when and what. But I try to honor in its authentic space and I try to honor something.
I love that. Some would say that the way we are born sets tone for our lives. How can conscious birthing help heal generational trauma and bring forth a more peaceful, aligned human?
As my personal experience, my kids are they're not sheltered, but like a friend of mine had a baby and she had a baby in the hospital. And he was like, why did she in the hospital? Because I have my kids at home. So they like that. I love that they feel like birth should be at home because that's what I felt. That was my thing. And that's kind of how I'm raising it as peaceful as possible. I love that. So when they be calling stuff out, I just feel like, oh, I mean, what? This is regular, but you don't know that, or regular with somebody else. Yeah, it's somebody else's experience, but they don't know that. They just be like, well, why is she here? And I'm just like, So they're going to grow up in the spaces that I kind of put them in and raise them in. Right. But eventually, I'm sure they're going to make all decisions, especially the older. They're going to start off right with all the things, but it's still going to it's still embedded in her also. Even if she makes her own decisions, she's still going to be conscious of, well, I was wondering, my dad was vegan and, these things. They're going to remember those things and it's going to shape. Yeah. Even if they choose not to choose that because they have that right. Right. It's going to still be in the head.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely believe that. Like, that's their cultivation. Like, oh, this is my roots. This is where I come from. I remember, not necessarily that I am going to always be attached to it, but I do, honor or remember.
I don't think my kids even go, hold on, so to be honest, but they're real rich. In reality, what I heard. They get to be their own people, so that'll be great.
So the womb, right, is a portal, or at least that's what they say. Do you believe that?
Oh, it is. You gotta think about it. It's a portal to get to birth. You gotta use the portal first to get to be pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah, and that portal, that in that.
Yep.
The portal. God,
Yep.
it was the space. He might have even understood what's going on when he was in it. Then you had the baby. The baby's there. She's cultivated. It's warm in its home.
Right.
And then work this person or this being into space. All used by the same womb with the same heart. Pretty amazing. I think we amazing. Women are amazing. Contrary to what people believe. We do it all. Like, you gotta think about it. We like make it happen. We hold them. We nurture them. And then birth. You can't tell me that's not power.
That's real power. It's
It's a space. And then the thing is, if we really tap into it, we can use that.
So what are some ways women could be able to tap into that state?
Oh, I want to first touch on the fact that we as women, or a lot of us, have trauma in this space. So we hold most of our trauma in this space, right? Whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual. So first we have to let that. And that's work as a doula. Because sometimes you be in the space and you got to think about somebody who has been molested, right? I'm asking, is it okay if I touch you? Because I need to know how you're going to react, right? Because when she's in the middle of it and someone comes to touch her, it could be a doctor, it could be a male person or a female person or whomever that caused the trauma in her life, right? It touches them, it's going to take her back 20 feet. We're not going to be able to move past nothing. She got to hold up because you can clamp up.
Yeah.
And we're not going to move forward. So we got to like fix the trauma first. And then we just got to love that space and accept that we are these people and these beings and tap into that.
I love that.
And that's hard work.
Oh,
it's hard work. It is, even though we do all the things and we can say all the things, we can talk all the things, and I can talk all the things, it's still hard work to tap into the knowing that we are these beings. So you gotta do the work. Shadow work is a bitch. Can I say that? I'm sorry.
yeah.
Shadow work is hard.
Yes, shadow work.
It's work.
I think the last podcast I did, we talked about, we didn't name it shadow work per se, but it was the fact that when you're doing the work and then you consistently have to remind yourself that you're in the stage or in the process of doing the work, right? And then it's not always this consistent thing that's happening, because there's moments where you're just like, you're full blazing. And then there's other moments where you have now stepped back 5 steps, and you're just like, man, how did I get back here?
And we have to, again, embrace that. It's okay to have 20 steps back because it's hard. And I think not easy.
I think that it's beautiful how you're expressing that, because it's like a lot of us don't give ourselves grace.
It's not going to work without grace. If you're a Christian, didn't God give you grace? Or Jesus or whoever gave you grace, right? It was that grace that like pumped you forward. So we have to remind ourselves that a lot of times. And that's another thing we got to remind ourselves. If I got to put sticky notes every day, reminders in my phone, I have to carry I'm old, so I have to carry like a calendar. And now you put like notes in there. Keep reminding yourself. You keep reminding yourself, because even if you get stuff externally, you could tell you're beautiful all day, right? They could tell you fine all day. You're doing a great job, because people tell me I'm doing a great job in motherhood. But another thing, when I'm sitting in the middle of the classroom, they're not listening, they're running around, I'm doing work, I ain't hearing the fat grade tell me I'm great teaching the girl.
No, that's great.
So just keep it there. Every day, every minute, remind yourself. When it's hard, remind yourself. When you're crying, remind yourself. Just keep doing it. And eventually, one day, I know it's going down. And even, I'm not even going to say one day, we don't see, me, I don't see, because I want like butterflies and rainbows, see, jazz fingers for it to be a thing.
Right.
But it's not those things that we need to live. It's small.
It's so funny you say that. I was thinking about that today. I was looking at my son and I was like, man, I'd be worried about you. And then he did something. I was like, man, you're going to be okay. The little thing. Yeah.
That part. Yeah. That part is what it says. We feel like it should be rocking it up.
Right.
Put on the table because we've done the work. You need to. It's not that. Unfortunately, it's just not. That's not. It's not life either. So we got to accept that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we can't like expect the little people that we're raising to be the same. It's just not reality. And that's what we mess up ourselves. Well, I mess up myself for sure. That oldest, she was trying, I'm telling you, actually, other than maybe trying, you get the last little 12. She was a bad tip. So everybody, and then they're all different. You guys who is they're not the same. So you know, like,
Yeah.
you can't use the same. It's just lies. And if you think you can, it's laughable.
They come from the womb, the same womb. And it's just like, boy, how are you so different?
So think about the many layers of the wound.
Thanks.
The many spaces that we had, the possible many lifetimes that we have been in, the people that have poured into you in your lifetime. Yeah.
I think it's where I always think about the fact that my womb was inside of my grandmother. Heck, I think that is so phenomenal, right? Just to think about that. But then it's like energetically, right? To think about how much trauma she had gone through. Then you think about your mother.
So you hold a trauma in your womb.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know it.
Yeah.
Because you might not even know it. Think about people who weren't raised by their parents and they don't know their lineage, but they know they feel this way.
Yeah.
They have to figure it out on their own because they don't even know what's happening. So, you know, I was afraid of marriage, not realizing that it was my lineage that I was afraid of because their relationship with me at work. So again, we got to talk to that. The womb, it holds everything.
Like a little
good and bad. Yeah, that's that part, good and bad. So, you know.
And I think what some people say the womb is like another brain, right?
Maybe. I feel like it's the first one.
The first brain. I like it. I like it. I mean, the feelings, right? And it's crazy because I've done a lot of like energy work and a lot of different experiences I've had. And when I first like feel either good or bad emotion, I feel it in my womb.
Automatically.
I feel it like, but I have to be very conscious, right, of it, because some moments, if you're just moving through day to day, you're not aware of your body speaking to you. In that womb, man,
and that's another thing. We are used to doing all the things because we have to. We listen all. But at some point, we just gotta just like be. Now, when you be is when you done. All of it.
Yeah. So what would you say to men when it comes to fertility, womb health, you know, all of those things? Like, what is some advice you would give to men?
I would say that they need to be more present. I don't just mean like physically being there, showing up, financially being there, like spiritually, emotionally, understanding. So my husband, like when I was in school, especially when I was in midwifery school, he dove in. Like I was studying, he like sticky notes on the wall, trying to help me study. And it was weird at first. But I appreciate that. So in a space that the person that you're with is trying to heal or trying to be, learn or try to learn that space, or try to be complimentary in that space, or be open. Just be open. Because even if you don't understand, because you're not going to understand my womb, you're not going to understand labor because you're not good. But try to, you know what I mean? Like make an effort.
Mm-hmm.
And the smallest efforts go a long way. Yeah. Because some people don't make efforts. And so you say, well, I don't give birth and I don't want you to try to be in the space of understand. You could try to be in the space losing a child. Losing a child has caused so many divorces that I can't even keep away. So being in a space that you're hurt and she's hurt, I'm going to take a woman being pregnant. He's like, oh, she's just our hormones. Well, try to understand what's a little tenderness, a little understanding. But a smallest amount goes of that.
So what are some ways that women can reconnect to the wisdom of the womb, of ancestry?
So something that I like to use and I have like tapped more into because so my journey in life has, you know, I come from a religious background, religious as a religion being so physical, all those things. And I still go to church, but I go to church for my own reasons, but I feel different things and I look at it differently now as an adult. me and prayer had like this thing. It's going to me. Well, I didn't. It was late. But prayer is pretty. Prayer, meditation, in your breaths is something that nobody can take from you. They can't take it from you. If you pray in the middle of something, you breathe in the middle of something, you meditate in the middle of something, no one can take that away from you. So you talk to you, pray to you. I do yoni. Well, personally, I do yoni steams. The yoni steams, it's like you still work on a herb, so this thing comes up to the space, and I'm, what do I do? And I'm like, fill your space. Feel like even during labor or pregnancy, I tell these people that you have to feel. I can't feel it for you. The doctor can't send it for you. I can talk you through it and tell you to leave. I think I know. But you have to like be here, and you have to let yourself get feel all of it. You can do that by prayer, meditation, or just speech. Talk to your baby. Like people who have like babies are upside down and angry. Talk to your baby. Tell me it's time to get it together because we ain't got the time. Tell them turn. Talk to these spiritual connection. He's in there. Talk to him. Tell him to. Because if you got to do like me, again, I'm going to remind you of all the things. We're going to tap into everything and I'm going to bring it back up. I have moms be mad at me. Are you mad? Because I told you that I was going to do this. I told you that I wasn't going to let up. Told you that it's all gas and no brakes right now because we got to get you over this threshold and we got to have this baby. You got to come on the outside. Baby got to come. We need both of you here and I'm not going to give up on it. So you decided to choose me as a doula. We don't make it happen. So that speaks to me.
Like that. Okay. Your postpartum care.
That's it. That's something that I'm actually focusing more on birth. What's 1 million birth doulas? That's literally 1 million birth doulas in Jacksonville alone. And when I started in 2004, it wasn't that many, but now it's like 1 million. But postpartum, Black women are dying, and a lot of times they are dying postpartum. They don't know the signs. When everybody's gone home, all the meals have been brought, all the cute little pictures been taken, and you by yourself at home, you might not know that you're leaking a 3D visible. If you don't know, you don't know. You might feel like it's normal. Oh, I'm supposed to be athletes. But are you? So 2 minutes or 1 meter away? What if your heart rate's up to this point? What if your blood pressure is this? These are things that most people don't notice. And if you don't, it could be life or death. So being there postpartum is like really make or break sometimes for a lot of, especially first time moms. Because it's a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't even get to have those, what on top of week 6, week 3? I don't know how many you say giving out right now, but 1 or 2 weeks, whatever weeks it is, even in those weeks, you might be by yourself. If your partner has to go back to work, luckily they're doing maternity leave now, but before, if your partner had to go back to work, you were still at home with this new baby. You might not have other kids. If you got the kids, that's a whole other question. You got to do it all. Got to take care of them. Still got to do the things. Got to wash clothes. Might still have to cook. That's a lot. And people forget that. They just be like, oh, the baby's home now. It's so cute. Let's take some pictures. Well, hell, I didn't take a bath in 3 days. I haven't eaten the whole day.
Yeah, that's big.
And then people feel like postpartum is, 40 days, 6 weeks. My baby needs 2.
Yeah, that's this could be it.
And I could still very easily get that with them. And you have to recognize that also.
Yeah.
So I've really been leaning more towards that part and like nurturing the mom and do you have nourishing foods? And I could do more in this space that I could do in birth. I could probably do that over the phone because a lot of people during COVID with virtual and it was like, I don't like virtual because I'm a hands-on doula. But it works for people. So I could probably do that. But postpartum wise, I need to get space. I need to lay in bed with mama while she crying. So let's space.
Definitely.
And women don't think about it. No, like we talk about birth a lot. We talk about like they got gender reveal, baby shower, all these things. And then like we're second prenatal. I'm like, so what about your postpartum? Do you have a postpartum cart ready? Do you have your breast pump? Do you have your snacks ready? Who's gonna cook your food, your meals? I'm like, oh, I'm not thinking about that. Well, you should.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna come. Yeah. Either way. And if you don't have it ready, then
yeah. And then you're gonna try to rely on somebody else who may not be present or, if you can. Yeah. That is a topic right there. I think that's
my
whole topic.
Postpartum is my new love. It really is, because it's not talked about a lot, and people don't realize it. Like, you don't even realize it, because especially if you have to do it all day.
Yeah.
You don't even realize that you need to stop. Like, some people are like, well, I'm just used to it. This is my second baby, and I got it under control, and I know how to do it. But and should you?
Right. That's the thing. Should you? Like, we have normalized so many things that just should not be normal. Just off the base of, I'm strong.
That's society, and unfortunately, the strong Black woman complex is trash.
It is trash.
It's unhealthy, spiritually, physically, and mentally for us. Yeah. And while we break most of the time, we're going to be the angry Black woman. Yeah, I'm angry. Absolutely. I am.
Community support has been identified as a key factor in improving birth outcome. Can you share examples of community initiatives or programs that have successfully addressed maternal and infant mortality, and what lessons can be learned from that?
So I won't name specific organizations, but there are I would say a million organizations out there. But being in a space where people look like you and have the same stories that you had, it feels a little bit better. Feel like you can work through it. It feels like you're not alone. It feels like you're crazy. So being in these spaces, when it comes to community in these spaces, it's really big. Community is big. Motherhood is zero. So it's not just pregnancy, where in general, we need the moms to get it.
We need a village. Oh my goodness.
So postpartum support groups, there's pregnancy support groups. There's I'm on the board of Liam Legs, which is the pregnancy and loss support. It's a foundation, but we're trying to have more support groups where people who have experienced loss. We provide gallons for babies who have transitioned, but their parents not agreeing. We try to get funerals for them. Having a community that says that you're not alone in any space. Community is the space. And there's a lot of help out there. The thing is, a lot of people don't have the access or the know. And sometimes some of these government, because there's a bunch of government programs. I'm not saying they're bad, because they're great. Mm-hmm. They're there. Let's put it that way. But are they really trying to help? Are they like other agendas? You know what I mean? Are you really trying to help the community for real, or they're trying to get that check or grant or whatever? So I'm a stickler to smaller community groups, right? Little 10 people meetups and stuff like that, because
it's more impactful. Yeah, you get to know everybody, and everybody gets to know you. I like that. Yeah, it's so interesting though. Like, the more and more I'm sitting and doing interviews and stuff like that, the more and more I'm realizing how important community is. It's never been lacked to me or lost to me. I've always known that. But in this day and age, this season of life, and what's going on, it's community is essential for growth. And that's one thing I would petition anybody to do, is to get them a village, to get them a community, and really get to know real exchange. I think that's so necessary.
Absolutely, we don't know what's going on. I'm so confused every day. I just feel I just don't even I don't even know.
But let's talk about that. Let's talk about policies.
So one of the biggest, thing that we can help with as far as maternal health is policy. Mm-hmm. But hey, well, now I don't even know. Now I don't even know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know what's going on. But in the past, it's really been, evidence fight for policy as far as getting adequate health insurance or Medicaid, being able to set, more people and offer certain things. But I'm gonna be honest though, insurance is trash, and they don't really like us. They don't even like us in the hospital, and they definitely don't like us at home. So I'm just gonna be real with it. It's where it is now. Them even not supporting midwives at home birth, because why would they? Because if you could have a C-section, which is the most expensive surgery in the world, why would I pay for your home birth that they had half of that price, 3 times less? So fighting for policy for these spaces, or people to have adequate health care, right, or adequate pregnancy and postpartum care, or kids and dental, That is big and major.
This is really true. Really true. And I was listening to this woman. She was saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. And we can see, please say there's a lot of smoke, but nobody really has been able to identify where the real fire is coming from and where it's going to strike,
Which that goes back to the community part too. But yeah, with that, us not knowing, you might have to go to grandma to live little baby. Yeah, you might need to go back to cousin Sue who made the soup. Cover this.
Yeah, no, it really is. But I definitely think this conversations that he had and really thought out. That's why I love that we're actually having this conversation. It is kind of even more like pretty important because it's like we're talking about birth, we're talking about death, and all of these things that are happening in between those moments, right? And it's just like, hey, what can we do to foster a better atmosphere for all of it?
This is a start.
Yeah, this is definitely.
You having this space to have people like me come and talk about it is a start. Somebody's going to see it. Somebody's going to like, oh, and it's going to spark something.
Yeah,
that one spark is going to be like, oh,
it's okay.
On the dive deeper.
That's what we were talking about in that last podcast, and I hope you guys watch. But we were talking about being candles and having a flame and just lighting other people and being okay. Like, if your flame gets bigger than mine, I'm still lit. I'm okay. You can enjoy all of it. Be great. So just doing that and learning how to live and cultivate that in a space where everybody does. Like this podcast, I want other people to know things that they have questions about.
I love that.
Right? And it's just like, okay, I could spend my whole day sitting, talking, interviewing people. All right, and just giving other people knowledge. I pay for all this stuff, but either way, it's helping somebody else tap. Like, that's just my genuine.
And again, like I told you before, it is needed because, you could Google stuff all day. You could Google stuff that's on YouTube, but like, sometimes people might not feel safe with certain people, or they might trust people more, or like, some things they don't trust all this. They just introduced me to Copilot. My daughter introduced me to Copilot. It's something you can do with AI and make a whole paper. Like, this is trash. I don't trust nothing. And I see it more. But, like, if you can cultivate a space where somebody feels comfortable, coming to talk to you, right, openly.
He has to pull a question from the book. Here we go. You walk between two worlds, first and last breath. How has this shaped you today?
Ooh, okay. So I feel like between the first and the last breath, I possibly have experienced many lifetimes of two. I've died and rebirth several times. I've had to go through a lot, and come back from it many times. So I'm grateful for that space. The rebirth, the birth, the rebirth, the birth, rebirth, birth, and the opportunity to be able to do it again and not so stuck in it.
I love it. Well, I want to thank you again for coming out and sharing your beautiful energy with us.